Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about how the narcissist we were raised by is pretty much the same as what you see from the powers that be, and what they want for our lives, and how they go about getting this end goal. Do yourself a favor. Take a look around. And ask yourself, why are there so many darn snares set up to screw up your chances at having a successful family? Now this doesn't mean it's impossible. But think about it. Look at the crazy unfair laws. Look at our school system for the children. Daycare is normal instead of a mother at home with the children providing them their first lessons. There are temptations at every corner and turn to tempt you away from a good relationship and away from your family to satisfy selfish and narcissistic desires. But many times people go along with this mess. Not because they are bad people, but because they are following bad people. The reality is bad people, in my humble opinion, are the ones that keep these crazy laws going on, or writing these laws, with the intent to get society to enslave themselves. Think about for a moment how different this world would be if you were able to build a very secure, tight-knit, and eventually large family. What do you think would happen if you could do that and the next person could do that? That's right. You would be top competitors for the wealth on this earth that's currently owned and controlled by a small few. And they want to keep it that way. And there are many ways they do this. And it's all compartmentalized. Some know what's going on. Some don't. Some just do their jobs with blinders on and don't want to know how bad things are. Just like Hollywood. Hollywood is a great example of this. Did you know wealthy investors from around the world will put large sums of their money into different movie projects? Not because they are great financial investments for them, but because they want to put forth their ideas. And they want to put forth their brainwashing. And I say this as someone that enjoys a good movie. That being said, it cracks me up when people say they can't be brainwashed by movies or television. Now, do me a favor and think about the children's shows. The ones with the little puppets. They are made to teach children how to read, write, spell, do math, and get along with other children. And children really do learn things from such shows. But you mean to tell me people stop learning once they are no longer children? By what they see on television. Think about when you watched a movie or a television show, and a character you like said a certain word that you found to be clever. You might adopt that word as your own, and interwork this new word into your daily vocabulary. Now are you full on brainwashed? No. You are still you, with just a new word. But things can go a step further. You might see a different style of clothing that interests you. So the next time you're at the store, you might seek out this type of clothing to purchase, instead of what you're used to. And you might not have done so, or would have passed up such clothing had you not seen your favorite actor wearing such items. Then things can go a step further. Ideas can be injected into movies on how to live your life or how to interact with your family, to where you are now making choices that are indeed yours, but you might not have made had you not been so heavily impacted by a movie you just watched. And at times these ideas and thoughts might serve us well, but there are many times they don't. You see, just like the narcissists in our life, it all comes down to supply and control. And at times money. If we all had positive images on how to have families and how to be good people, there would be too many successful families in the world. To the point it would be very difficult for the few to maintain their stranglehold on the world's wealth. This is why they invest so heavily in Hollywood and movies. Because they want to influence you to buy their products. And they want to influence you to destroy your own life. Now think about the narcissist that raised you, constantly giving you wrong information about life and how to live it. Why? Just to watch you fail. For one, so they can feed on your pain. But also because they don't want you to be a success. Because they weren't able to do the things in their life they wanted to do. Even if they are rich financially. They hate themselves. And another person's happiness for a narcissist is a big time no-no. If they don't have the insides to be happy, they are going to suppress your ability. Knowing the game is rigged puts you in a good position because you can do things a bit differently than the masses. You can learn how to bend society's rules. Not the laws but the rules. So you can achieve the goals you are looking for. The world is filled with a bunch of followers. That's why mass brainwashing over a period of time is very possible and very real. Take a look around at a lot of the people on this earth. It's like they are in the twilight zone. And I don't say that to be funny. Because it's really sad to be honest with you. The other sad fact is these very people are following the life and society rules written by narcissists. Good people following bad people all because they don't want to seem like the odd person out. Oh boy, that is powerful indeed. When society's rules are changed, great many things can happen, both good and bad. There was a time when family values was heavily pushed. Now, was there still narcissistic abuse going on in the home? Yes. And it made it worse back then for such victims because speaking up against your mother and father was unheard of. So there was good and there was bad with that model society was following. Now we have a free-for-all type of society. Do as thou wilt. Type of mentality and thinking. Even amongst those that go to church. You go to counseling at church for your relationship that's in trouble. And before you know it, the pastor is sleeping with your wife. Or your husband is sleeping with a lady in the church choir. Which I'm sure happened a long time ago as well. But we have this model of anything goes. And loyalty is just a word people say, but it really doesn't mean much at all. But you still can't speak up against your parents because you are a scumbag. At least in the world's eyes. And then you have to ask yourself, who the heck is writing this story? Who's making these rules? Oh, okay. I get it. The narcissists in charge. No, 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 no. Not the ones we see. It's the ones we don't see. The ones with the real power. The real control. You aren't supposed to have a family, don't you get it? You aren't supposed to think for yourself. You are supposed to work in one of their crappy jobs. And die. And then have one of your children take your place and do the same thing. Think about it. Regardless if there are many that don't know about narcissistic abuse. Think about how many people you know that are divorced. The number is huge, right? Most people know more divorced people than they do married people. At least those I've met in my life. And they come from all different backgrounds and financial statuses. And even the ones that appear to have it all together. Out of nowhere they are getting a divorce. And society just moves right along. Deaf, dumb and blind to it all. Then all of a sudden you take the red pill and you look around and you say, my God. What is going on in this place? Look people, it all starts with you. It all starts with you. Realize who's writing these crazy life rules. And keep that in mind before you make important life choices. If you pray and have faith, pray. Then bounce what those in life are saying against what you real in the Bible. If a so-called friend is trying to put a negative bug in your ear, take a step back and think about what is going on. You see, we as people want to act like we are too strong to let someone or something affect us and how we think. When in reality all it can take is someone to say something to us once. Or a few times. And it's now stuck in our minds. And can become a perversion of our normal and natural thoughts. I will go to an example with the ladies I've talked about before. Oftentimes women in the neighborhood or at work will find a woman that seemingly has a good relationship with her boyfriend or husband. And they will pretend to be her friend. All to put seeds of doubt in her ear. To drag this good woman down to their level. And get her to think it's all her own thinking. And this happens every single day. Heck, it's happening somewhere right now. And because people are by and large followers, not getting sucked in by such evil can be and is very difficult. And this kind of thing is waiting for us all in our daily lives. For both men, women, and children. Narcissists writing the rules. And good people in lockstep following to their doom. So what do? You snap out of it. Think beyond the narcissist in your life. Ask yourself, if the narcissist in your life had unlimited money and power, what would they be doing? Then look around the world and think for just a moment. And I tell you this to not make you worried, but as encouragement to live your life and have a great life. You see the people that do the best out there in this cruel world. They realize early on how screwed up society's rules really are. And they stop playing by these rules. Now they stay within the law. But they pretty much do everything different than the rest of society. They raise their families different. They have their relationships different. They look at their own education different. And they choose their professions in a different manner. It's all different. And guess what? They usually get where they are wanting to go. Yes. They have to work hard. But they don't have all the snares we have. Because they aren't following the same steps we are following. Because when they look around, and they see failed family after failed family, they go about their life much differently. They deal with only people that have the same positive life goals as they do. And they quickly keep those that are marching to the beat of the world's drum at a comfortable arm's length. And this is something I'm going to talk about more. How successful people do it. Yes. I know there are those that rely on magic and evil to get what they want. And those that backstab to get to the top. But then there are others that do work hard. But they also work smart. And part of this smarts is understanding early on the game is rigged. And from that understanding they learn what to do and what not to do. Do they make mistakes? Yes. But they are still avoiding many. And I mean many life pitfalls. And this is something the ultra-rich do not want you to know about. This has all been designed. Yes. Our culture is pre-scripted out like a darn movie. They have think tanks at the top about the direction society is going and the direction they want to see it go in. And then they talk about and brainstorm how to get such a shift to happen. Please do not think those that run things would be above such acts. Because heck, the company you work for engages in this same behavior. Workplaces or jobs do this all the time. 1 minute the work culture is super friendly and happy. Policies can be openly discussed and challenged to be made better. All for the success and overall morale of the company. Then it can turn on a dime. Things get really dark. The culture changes. It changes to where horrible policies are implemented. To where you can't question things or work for a better solution. And before you know it, people start quitting. Did you ever stop and think? This negative work culture was designed on purpose. And created for such a reaction? That maybe it would be cheaper for you to quit. Than it would be to let you go. It's all psychological warfare. And if they will do it in the corporate level, those that run the place where you live will do the same thing. As our society decays and rots. They know exactly why. Because it was designed to rot. And your children and you right along with it. And I know it's not fair. But their thinking is you should know better. The people that create these cultures think if you are too dumb to go along with such mess you deserve it. That kind of sounds like the narcissists we've dealt with, right? Because that's how they think. If you've been dating a narcissist for 6 months. And out of nowhere they throw a fit. And start a fight with you because you are 5 minutes late showing up for dinner. Calling you a scumbag and everything else they can call you. They think. If you stay with them. No matter if they fake like they are sorry. That if you stay with them you're a dummy and you deserve the treatment they are about ready to unleash on you. Well, those that write our rules think and feel the same way. The key is to think. Think for yourselves. Look around at everyone. And ask yourself if what these people are doing is right. Sure, they are all doing it in lockstep. But is it right? If the answer is no, you don't have to make a fuss. You can be quiet about it. Just quietly do what's right. And move forward. Because eventually you won't even know these people anymore. They may be a distant memory from your life. This goes back to you don't have to tell everyone everything about your life. Boundaries are there for a reason. And one of the reasons is to protect you against the masses of society. Because just like crabs in a bucket, or the narcissist in your life that wants to drag you down to feed on your pain, society as a whole can and will do the same. Well, this is a good place to stop. In the next video, I want to talk about how the things we hear some of the people out there in the world say make no sense, and how they avoid the real problems and what reality really is. All to keep the problem and misery going on and on and on. Hey, these things are a must to know. Because at bare minimum, they help you become mentally sharp when dealing with people. And help you become aware of traps laid for you that you can avoid so you can become successful. While you are working on becoming the best version of yourself. So with that said, let's continue to pray for wisdom. Let's continue to pray for strength. And let's continue to pray for courage. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.